this is Jen from Windrose Fiber Studio. Welcome to part 5 of how to crochet mini mucks. Mini mucks are ankle-high, boot-shaped slipper socks. For part 5, you will need your 2 socks, your crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and both of your yarn colors. And in part 5, we're going to be working on the very top cuff, and that's all we have left in this project. Before we get started, if we look at our completed mini muck, we need to think about which side this tassel is on. So if you imagine that you're wearing this slipper sock, this will be going on your left leg, and this tassel will be hanging off to the left on your left leg. That means when we join our yarn for the second slipper sock, we want to join on this side. Where we join is where this tassel is going to be. So for this slipper sock, I'm going to be joining my yarn right here. So I'm really going to keep that in mind as I flip this piece over and know that I'm going to be starting in the center of this triangle on this slipper sock. I can set this one to the side. Now let's remember that we're working across the end rows of the triangle, and there are 12 end rows. You can count across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now 12 is an even number, of course, and we want to join in the center, but the center of this is literally between 2 stitches. But that's okay because we're going to be joining with a single crochet decrease. So let's go ahead and attach our yarn, but we want to leave a tail end long enough to create our tassel at the end. So leave about, if I grab my ruler that I always have handy, leave at least 10 inches. So your tails, your beginning and your ending tails for your yarn in this section should always have at least 10 inches of length. It's okay to err on the side of a little more. And then I'm just going to join my yarn to my crochet hook. To join, so once again we're joining in the center of this triangle. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 2 stitches are the center of this triangle, and we're going to use those 2 stitches to join with a single crochet decrease. We're going to insert our hook in the first one, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert our hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That is our single crochet decrease join. I'm going to go ahead and grab a stitch marker. I think it's always helpful to mark that first stitch of every round. And now we're going to continue working across this triangle. Single crochet in the next end row. Now we're going to do another single crochet decrease. And now there should be 2 end rows left. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of these 2 remaining end rows. And that gets us to the corner of our first granny square. We're going to be working into all 3 stitches of the corner. This stitch marker is marking the very center, but we're going to be working into this stitch, the center, and the stitch next to it. So into that first stitch of the corner, we're going to work a half double crochet. Into the center stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. And then into the final corner stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. And this helps to even out the height of the cuff as we work across those granny squares. Here we are on the next triangle, and we're going to be working across these end rows once again. Sometimes it's harder to see the end rows at the top of the triangle, and if you're struggling to make sure you're placing your stitches in the right place, I think it's easier to count up from the base of the triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to place my first single crochet here, and then I'm going to place another single crochet in the next end row. After the first 2 end rows, they're much easier to see, and I'm going to work a single crochet decrease, and then a single crochet, a single crochet decrease, and then a single crochet, and then a single crochet decrease. We have 2 end rows left. Each of those will get 1 single crochet. So there are a total of 9 stitches working across the triangles. This brings us to our second granny square, and we're going to do the same thing with this granny square. We're going to work a half double crochet in the first stitch of the corner, a double crochet in the center stitch of the corner, and a half double crochet in the third stitch of the corner. And now there's nothing left to do but to finish working across our first triangle. We're going to single crochet in the first end row, and in the second end row we're going to work a decrease, and then we have 1 end row left which receives a single crochet. And now we've made it back to our first single crochet decrease. We're going to finish this round by slip stitching to our first stitch, but we'll be changing colors to our granny square color. Once again, we want to leave a long tail for creating our tassel, so as you're joining this color, you're going to give yourself at least 10 inches. So you're going to yarn over, pull through the stitch and the loop on your hook. You can tighten that orange color just by tugging on your working yarn a little bit. And round 1 is complete. You can take out your stitch marker, and we're ready for round 2. Round 2 begins by chaining 1 and then working a half double crochet in that same stitch. This is our first half double crochet of the round. And for round 2, you're just going to work a half double crochet in each stitch around. If this is feeling narrow to you, remember that yarn will stretch a little bit. Also, if you need a little more distance around, if you need a little more width at the top of your cuff, you could eliminate the decreases before and after the center decrease on either triangle. That would give you 4 extra stitches and a little more space at the top of your mini muck. I just want to point out that sometimes these stitches might feel a little hard to see or a little more awkward. Make sure you don't miss any of these corner stitches. And then here we are back at the beginning of the round. You can double check your stitch count. Here's our first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I am a big fan of double checking. And here we go, we're going to slip stitch back to that first half double crochet, changing back to our original color, to that complementary color. We didn't cut that yarn, so it's right there in the back, and you can just yarn over with that color and pull it through the stitch and the loop on your hook. We are all done with this color now, and you can trim it off, this granny square color, but remember to trim it off leaving at least 10 inches. Okay, we are one round away from being done with our cuff. So this part of the project is going to go nice and quickly. Chain 1, single crochet in that first stitch. That's our first single crochet of the round. And now we're just going to single crochet in each stitch around, 24 stitches. "21, 22, 23, and 24. Now I can join with a slip stitch to our very first single crochet. Let me remove the stitch marker. I can cut this yarn. Once again, I'm going to leave a nice long tail. And I can just yarn over and pull that through. So here's our cute little cuff. Brings that granny square color to the top of our mini muck. And we have one step left, and that is to make our tassel. To make the tassel, we're going to pull both of our granny square colors through at the first row. So if you look back at row 1, where we joined our complementary color, I'm just going to stick my crochet hook through there and pull both of these granny square beginning and ending tails right through that stitch. For the complementary color, I'm grabbing my yarn needle, which I was thinking we didn't really need, and you don't absolutely have to do this, but just so that this top edge looks a little better, I'm going to weave it through and get it back down to round 1. Just so it's it's going through the fabric. That's not absolutely necessary, but just kind of a nice little extra touch. Now I don't want to pull the two complementary colors through the same space as I did the granny square colors. I want to make sure they're separated by a little bit of yarn, and I really want to center the tassel. This is where our square and our triangle meet. Here's the center. So I'm just going to insert my hook right here and pull those two threads through, and you can see here my granny square colors and here are the other colors, and there's a little bit of yarn between them. And now we can make our ply. I might start off, because I wasn't really measuring these ends, I might start off just by trimming these to a more even length. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold both of the complementary color and I'm going to spin them away from me counterclockwise about 11 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you can see that they're sort of back spinning when I release the tension. I'm just going to hold on to those with my ring finger, my pinky finger, and then I'm going to pick up the granny square colors. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, and when I release that, it wants to backspin a little bit too. So I have about the same tension, and both of these have been spun counterclockwise. And now I'm going to bring these two colors together, and holding them together, I'm going to spin them back in the other direction. 2, 3, and they're just naturally going to want to ply together. In fact, I can even let them go. So even when I let it go, the ply will hold. I like to center the knot right around where these two granny squares come together. Because I've already done this mini muck, I want to kind of make sure, see, if you look at this one, I've got the knot right here, right where these two corners come together. So I'm going to do the same for this one. I'm just going to tie an overhand knot. And as I bring this knot tight, I'm going to do my best to have that knot rest right at the corner there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it as close as you can. And then you can kind of decide how long you want your little tassel to be, or the ends of your tassel to be. I'm just loosening up these ending threads. And because I've already done one, I can even hold these two together. And cut them at the same length. So you have just finished your cuff, and you'll repeat that for the second cuff. If I lay these so that the front sides are facing, I never did kind of give this cuff a little tug to loosen it up a little bit, but you've got a tassel going off in either direction, which just, it's that cute finishing touch that really makes these look like mucklucks, like the little knitted mucklucks that you so often see in hippie shops and college towns. I just love them so much. And I'm actually really excited to have these finished because it's getting very cold in my studio, so I plan to wear these. Now, we established at the beginning of this project that the ones I've been making are about a size too big for my feet, and I'm just going to wear them over socks and not worry about it because they're going to be so cozy and they're going to keep my feet warm. These are a little bit wider than I need to be. The length is actually pretty good, but they're a little wider than I need. And, you know, for something like this, that's perfectly fine. These are not meant to be perfectly fitted socks. These are slippers. They can have a little extra room in them. Remember that when you're sizing them to fit your feet or someone that you plan to give these mucklucks to, you can change the kind of yarn you're using or your hook size, and you can really affect the size quite a bit just through yarn choice. Now, I was using a pretty thick yarn for my granny squares, and if I had it to do over again, I might use a yarn that's a little less thick. I think these would be fitting my feet better right now if I had done so. I think I could have worked this whole project in a 5mm hook, but for the purpose of demonstrating it and teaching you how to make these, I wasn't too worried about that because I knew if they didn't fit me, I could find someone to gift them to. When you're working on a project like this one, it can be challenging. We're all different. We have feet that are different lengths. We have legs that are different widths. And you may need to work and customize these for yourself or for the person you're making it for. And that's okay. This has been a really big project. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you can see a lot of possibilities with this project, the ways in which you can change it and customize it and personalize it There's no reason you have to use this particular granny square. I think it would be so cute to use a granny square with a daisy in the middle or some kind of a flower in the middle. I think that would be really fun. So imagine the possibilities with a project like this one. Also, imagine using more than 2 colors. Every single shape could be a different color. These could be rainbow mini mucks. So enjoy this project. Enjoy experimenting and making it your own. I share new patterns on Tuesdays, so please hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new pattern. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.